Dear students, today we will discuss about the diffusion and the significance of diffusion with respect to plants and the factors behind the process of diffusion. This is a physical process and it is related to the diffusion of various molecules including water and gas from one place of their higher concentration to the other place of their lower concentration. So what is the diffusion? As we can see from this figure that we have put three different glasses here or jar, and all glasses are filled with certain molecules. As we can see that these red and blue dots represents molecule of certain substance. Here in this figure we can see that initially the concentration of each type of molecule is confined at a particular place, and after some time there is a mixing of both the molecules of both the substances get mixed with each other, and finally after some time a uniform mixture of these molecule is produced. As we can see, this red color represents the molecule of one substance, this blue color represents the molecule of another substance. Initially both the molecules are separated from each other or having at a different distance, but after some time they get mixed together and their mixing form a new color, and this new color represents that both the molecules of different substances has formed a uniform mixture, and this uniform mixture is of now a different color. So the diffusion is the movement of molecules by random thermal agitation. As we know that in a liquid molecule the molecules are present at a quite distant from another nearly placed molecule. So there is a general tendency of each molecule to have a Brownian movement, that they can freely move from one place to another place. So this is a general tendency of a liquid molecule. In gaseous molecule there is sufficiently low intermolecular attraction, so the gaseous molecules can have a more speed or more velocity as compared to liquid molecules. As long as no other forces are acting on the molecules, diffusion causes the net movement of molecules from regions of high concentrations to regions of low concentration. It means if no other forces are acting on these molecules, they are kept in normal temperature and pressure conditions, then these molecules will move from their respective higher concentration area towards the area of their lower concentration. Similarly, these molecules are higher in concentration at this place, and these molecules of red colors are higher in concentration at this particular place. So after some time they get mixed and form a uniform mixture. So this is the general tendency of each molecule to move from their higher concentration towards the area of their lower concentration. So this is the diffusion. Diffusion is rapid over short distance. It means the molecule can travel up to a short distance. They cannot travel up to a long distance, and for a long distance travel they will take sufficiently large time or more time, but extremely slow over long distances. Diffusion rate is inversely proportional to the density of the gas. So it means that the rate of diffusion of a gas is directly inversely proportional to the density of that gas. It means if the density of the gas is less as compared to other gas, then the low density gas will have higher diffusion capacity as compared to the gas having higher density. This inflated balloon shows that it is filled with the nitrogen gas, and the outside of the balloon there is the presence of the carbon dioxide. So the diffusion pressure of the nitrogen gas will be higher inside the balloon, and the diffusion pressure of carbon dioxide will be higher outside of the balloon. So the diffusion pressure of carbon dioxide is not dependent on the diffusion pressure of nitrogen present inside the balloon. So here we can see that inside the balloon CO2 is less in amount as compared to the CO2 present outside of the balloon. So the CO2 from its higher concentration will move or will try to move inside the balloon from outside environment to the inside of the balloon. Similarly, the balloon has higher nitrogen concentration inside as compared to outside, so the nitrogen from its higher diffusion pressure will tend to move from inside of the balloon towards the outside of the environment or outside of the balloon. So here we can see that the diffusion pressure of one gas is independent of the diffusion pressure of another gas. The German scientist Adolf Fick discovered that the rate of diffusion of a gas is directly proportional to the concentration gradient, that is concentration gradient over a certain distance. It means if there is sufficient concentration gradient, it means that one molecule or one particular set of molecule is higher in concentration at one point as compared to another point, so the diffusion is directly proportional. It means diffusion will be higher, or the rate of diffusion will be higher if the concentration difference between 2 points separated by a distance x will be higher, and if the concentration difference between 2 points is not higher, or it means the concentration difference between 2 points separated by a distance x is sufficiently less, then the rate of diffusion will also be less. So the rate of diffusion depends on the concentration gradient. Diffusion pressure we have already discussed that it is a hypothetical term describing the potential ability of a gas, liquid or solute to diffuse from an area of its greatest concentration to an area of lesser concentration. Steeper the concentration, it means higher the concentration gradient, it means the 2 points have the higher concentration difference, then the rate of diffusion will be higher. Independent diffusion we have already discussed with respect to the example of balloon, that diffusion pressure of a substance is completely independent of the diffusion pressure of other substance surrounding it, that is the balloon inflated with nitrogen. So now we can think, or we can understand that we have sufficiently understand what is the diffusion or what is the diffusion pressure. So now look at this figure. This is a biological membrane, and we know that a biological membrane is made up of protein and phospholipid. The inside environment of a biological membrane is hydrophobic. It means any polar molecule or charged molecule cannot enter inside the biological membrane. But here the water molecules are polar in nature, and some water molecule can enter inside the membrane, inside the biological membrane, but the number of molecules passing through this mechanism is less as compared to the another mechanism of water molecule passage. And here we can see that these water molecules are moving or are passing in a greater number from this particular lumen or this particular molecule. This particular channel is known as aquaporin. These are the some protein channels, and the inside cavity of these proteins channels are made up of hydrophilic amino acids. So these water molecules can easily pass through these membrane proteins, these transmembrane proteins, and these transmembrane proteins are known as aquaporin. However, the normal diffusion of water molecule is sufficiently less in number from the one point of the biological membrane inside its hydrophobic environment. So this is the aquaporin. Aquaporins are integral membrane proteins that form water selective channels across the membrane. So here we can see that within the hydrophobic environment of the biological membrane, the number of molecules are less number of water molecules are passing through this biological membrane, and through the aquaporin a large number of water molecules are passing. This large molecule or the mass of the water molecule passing through this aquaporin is known as the bulk flow. This term is important, bulk flow. So bulk means in a greater number, in a larger number. Whenever some molecules pass in a large number, in a large quantity from one point to another point, this is known as the bulk flow. Another example of bulk flow is, this is a tap and running water. Here a large number of molecules pass per unit time from this tap. So this is an example of bulk flow. Another example of bulk flow is a natural river flowing. We know that water moves from higher elevation to lower elevation towards the gravitational pull. So this here also a large number of molecules pass through a particular point in a large number at a particular time. So this natural river flowing is also an example of bulk flow. In this figure we see that this is a mesophyll cell represented by some palisade parenchyma and spongy parenchyma. So what is the meaning of showing this picture here? It means that if the water can enter through the diffusion inside the plant cell or inside the plant root cell, then how long this water can move up to the height of the plant. It means bulk flow or normal diffusion through a plant root cell can take place, but that water cannot be transported up to a certain height, and the plants are sufficiently large in size, we know. So how that amount of water is to be transported up to that height of the plant? So there must be acting a force, and that force is generated in the leaves of the plants. How this force is generated? As we know, at the time of transpiration the water is lost by the aerial part of the leaves, particularly the mesophyll cells, and these mesophyll cells lost their water and then absorb the water from the nearby cells. These nearby cells again absorb the water from their nearby cells, and simultaneously one cell absorb water from its nearest cell, and this is a normal, all cells do such activities. And what happens, that a suction pressure we can see, or a force is generated, and that force is traveled, that force is translocated from the leaves towards the root of the plant. So through that force the water molecules are absorbed. We will discuss this phenomena of transpiration or absorption of water in case of transpiration. So what are the cells or the tissues responsible for that bulk flow of the water. See here in this picture we can see that the water is translocated by the complex tissue, that is xylem, and xylem is composed of vessels and tracheids, and vessels and tracheids have the sufficient open lumens, and through these openings, through these tubes, the water moves in a bulk flow. So here the vessels and tracheids takes place in bulk flow mechanism of water from the roots towards the leaves. So pressure driven bulk flow of water is the predominant mechanism responsible for long distance transport of water in the xylem. In this picture we are showing two glass, and one glass is filled with pure water and another glass is filled with a solution. Solution is formed when something is mixed with water. So what happens, that pure water has only the water molecules, and these water molecule has certain diffusion pressure, but whenever certain molecules or solute is added in water, then that solute molecule reduces the kinetic energy of the water molecules, and this reduction in the kinetic energy of water molecule results in the lowering of the diffusion pressure of the water molecule. So we can say that the force exerted by or represented by the pure water molecule, or the diffusion pressure represented by the pure water molecule, get lowered whenever a molecule is or a solute is added with water. So this lowering in the diffusion pressure of water molecule is known as diffusion pressure deficit.